Well, it's the first week of November, and every year around this time is when I start thinking about decorating the house for Christmas. This year is no different except in one way. Tomorrow, we have family coming in from out of state. They're coming here to enjoy the wonderful southern hunting season with my husband. And so, where I would normally pull out all the bins full of Christmas decorations and make a big giant mess being creative and decorating the whole house in just a couple or 3 days, this year is going to be a little bit different. So what I'm going to have to do is develop a new strategy. I'm not going to make a huge mess for them to come home to each evening after their hunt. So instead, I'm just going to choose one area at a time and just run upstairs to the attic and get what I need and come back down and decorate that one spot. And slowly over time, it will get done. If I am methodical and consistent, I can work a little along and get a lot done. And that's what I plan to do. Well, today I have some things that I am going to be using to decorate, and they are from a Facebook Marketplace purchase that I made yesterday. They are these giant sconces. When I say giant, I mean giant wall sconces, and they are so unique. They are made to hold plates. So the top will hold a dinner plate, and then the bottom will hold a dinner plate here and here. And then they will hold 2 taper candles. And this is going above my fireplace here in the kitchen. And I thought it would be so much fun to be able to change these sconces out seasonally, because if you have been watching my channel anytime at all, you know that I have a dish obsession, just a little dish obsession. I have red and white transferware, I have blue and white transferware, I have brown dripware, and I have some green transferware, and I also have some antique dishes like roses and transfers like that. So this is going to be immensely fun for me to get to change out the plates for the season. So today I'm going to do a little DIY on these and lighten them up a bit. I'm going to be using some antique gold rub and buff, because right now they have a little bit of a kind of a bronzy Tuscan feel to them. But we're going to lighten them up with some antique rub and buff, which will give them more of an old world feel, which is what I like. I like a classic, traditional, old world look here in this farmhouse. And so that's what we're gonna do. And the first part of our Christmas decorating is gonna be get these up in place and get some of our red transferware up above the kitchen mantle. So I'm gonna take you along with me, and that's what we're gonna get started on right now. By the way, I am Sharon, and this is Southern Bella Home, and we talk all about healthy and wholesome farmhouse living, but with gracious Southern style. So I love to talk about recipes and herbal things and gardening, but decorating also. So anyway, today is our first installment of Christmas decorating and just some other this and that I'm gonna talk about with you too, and show you some ideas that I have for some other decorations. So hang with me, let's get started. The first thing I have to do, I have to climb up here and get these huge brass sconces down. They were also a Facebook Marketplace find. I'll show you those close up. They were only $4 for the 2, and they're huge, heavy brass. So let me climb up and get those down. See how big these are? And they are heavy, heavy, heavy brass. About 3 times the length of my head. $4 for the pair, Facebook Marketplace. So I will be finding somewhere else for these to go. I just think I'm gonna have too much fun with the ones with the plates. So these have got to find a new home. Okay, got that done. Okay, I'm going to interrupt our sconce makeover to show you these two wreaths that I got. These were also a Facebook Marketplace find from a different lady yesterday, and I loved the fact that they had this mossy green and more of a subdued red in them. And these are going to hang on our antique screen doors that we have on our laundry room. And I was thinking about how I wanted to hang them. First, I was thinking about ribbon. And then I thought about like a ticking stripe, and I found this ticking stripe fabric at Hobby Lobby yesterday. It's kind of a muslin, or it almost looks like a linen, but it's a red, and it's like an exaggerated red ticking, like a huge red ticking. So I'm probably going to cut strips of that and use that to hang these wreaths. Okay, let's get started on this project. Now, these lovely black gloves come in boxes of hair color. Not that I color my hair or anything, I just happen to have some of those gloves. And here's the antique gold rub and buff. And I just have an old sock and an old handkerchief to use if I need it for buffing off some of the excess paint. And I just take some of the rub and buff and I put it on my fingertip. And that's the beauty of using these gloves, because you can really kind of get in the nooks and crannies when you wear gloves. And I have done it without gloves before, and it's pretty difficult to get off of your skin. So I'm just going to proceed to rubbing all of the little nooks and crannies all over these sconces. And at first, when I first started doing this, as you see, I was doing it with the arms attached, but these arms actually come off of the main body of the sconce, and it took me a few minutes to realize how much more easy it would be to do this with the arms detached, but I did finally figure it out, and it made quite a difference. Please excuse the brightness of the afternoon sun coming in my kitchen door. It really was bright, but hopefully you'll be able to see what I was doing here. And you can see that I did detach these arms off of the main body, and it really made it a lot easier to get to all of the spots that I wanted to highlight. And really that's essentially what I'm doing here, is just highlighting the raised places and just giving a little bit more ambience to these, because they were pretty dark, more of a bronze look, and I really didn't want the bronze look in here. I like it on some things in our house, but for in here in the kitchen, I wanted it to have a little more of the old world gold look. I finished the first arm, and I'm trying to give you a comparison so that you can see the difference in the one that has been touched with the gold rub and buff and the one that has not been touched. It really highlighted the raised areas, and I really like the ones with the rub and buff much better. Once I got the candelabra arms done, I was anxious to see how the top and bottom decorative pieces on the sconces were going to look with the rub and buff, and I liked them just as much as I did the other pieces. I really like the top part a lot better after it's lightened up. Here's a close-up of how the little decorative pieces look after I give them a little bit of a buff. And then side by side, I think you can tell the difference in the one that's done and the one that's not done. It's subtle, but it is quite a difference. The next thing I've got to do, now, I'm just showing you how I go about hanging things. I'm the person who hangs everything in this house, unless it has to have a hollow wall anchor, and probably half the time my husband will hang those. Sometimes I hang those, but I hung all those things there. So I'm not an expert, but I'm just showing you my thought process and how I do things. And it's not always perfect. Sometimes I have to go up and fix my mess that I make, but 9 times out of 10, I get it like I want it the first time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these sconces and I am going to hold them up in place where I think they should go. And I'm going to get a visual. I'm going to look at space, like a spatial reference to see how far over, how far down. And I'm going to get a picture in my mind of where the little nail needs to be. And these have a little They have a little, like a wire hanger built into them right there. So I know that the nail is going to come this much below the top. So where I put the nail needs to rest far enough down so that it allows for this decorative piece here at the top. So now I'm going to get on my little step stool over here, and I'm going to hold this up there and visualize where it needs to be. I'm going to have to get the hammer and take the old nail out, and later I'll get my husband to get his ladder, and I will touch up the walls where the old sconces were. I will fill in the nail hole from the previous nail and touch it with a bit of paint, and you'll never know that I moved it. Great. There went my nail. Could have edited that out, but that happens a lot. You go to pull your nail out and it goes flying. So this is just the real world here. It fell down in my basket full of pumpkins and gourds, and I had to move them all and find it, but I found it. This old house has heart pine tongue and groove, I believe, under this sheetrock. So some of the walls have it exposed and some have been covered with sheetrock. And usually when they've been covered with sheetrock, it means like that they've patched doors or windows, or there were missing pieces, or sometimes they just wanted to cover it. But anyway, it makes driving nails a little more challenging because it is like driving a nail into cement. Well, got the first one hung. It looks pretty good. I didn't want the bottom of it touching or coming that close to the top of the mantle. And also for Christmas, I like the option of being able to put like a little tree right there between the painting and the sconce. So I left a little bit of a workspace there for myself. So we'll see how it looks. Well, they're both up. What do you think so far? I'm liking it. So these are the two dinner plates. They are Johnson Brothers, England, Historic America, View of Boston. That is what, aren't they beautiful? So these are going in the bottom. The top plate is also Historic America. This is the Capitol at Washington by Johnson Brothers. That's how they look on the back. I love all the crazing, the old glaze. But what I'm going to do to these, I am going to roll up a piece of packing tape and put right here on the top of each of these, because I noticed when I put these in here playing around with it when I first got it, these smaller plates with this square bottom wanted to kind of do this. So I'm going to put tape on the top to just give them something substantial to hold on to the sconce. So if you can see it, I just rolled up some tape, rolled it upon itself, and hopefully that's going to adhere to the sconce and kind of keep it straight. Well, they're both up, but right off the bat, something's bothering me. Huge turkey platters They've been hanging here since we moved into the farmhouse. So I'm seeing right now that that's just too close for me. I don't like how close that is. So something's gonna change with those turkey platters. So the next time you see a video, look for something to be different. They're filthy anyway, they need to be washed. But something's gotta be rearranged up there. Not sure what I'm gonna do, but something different definitely. I may reverse the order. I may drop the middle one down and raise the two up, and that way they would not be near the transferware. We'll see, but stay tuned for that decision. But other than that, I really, really like them. Now I need to get some candles put in them, and I'm gonna go borrow some of my battery candles from the other room. I'm gonna have to order another set, and this painting gets changed. I have a beautiful Christmassy winter painting that was in my last year's video that will go up there. But right now, this is fine because it matches the red sunflowers. So I think it goes okay for now, just for our company to be here. The kind of burgundy red in the plates kind of goes with the burgundy red and the sunflowers and the velvet pumpkin. But I'm gonna get some candles in here and turn all the lights on and show you what it looks like. These are the candles. I'm gonna show you up close. This is the remote. When you turn it on, I don't know if you can tell, but it's glowing and flickering. So those are pretty neat to have, especially if you have rechargeable batteries, which we do. This is the remote for the portrait light. It is rechargeable. It's funny because it also turns on those lights right there. I don't know why. They didn't even come with a remote, but every time I turn on my portrait light, those lights start blinking, so I have to adjust those. And then we'll turn on the candles. And I hope you can see what that looks like, but I'll turn all of the dining room lights off so you can get the full effect. And I'll take the disco lights off. See? Well, thank you for coming along with me as we got these done, got them painted and put up. This is really bothering me how these turkey platters are so close now. So probably as soon as I turn off this camera, I'm gonna be up there on the stool taking those down and rethinking that. So one thing calls for another, but that's okay because it's all just a process and it's trial and error, and we can take it down and put it back if we want to. But right now, really bothering me, just too close. But I love the sconces. I love the idea of changing my plates out. Y'all let me know in the comments what you think. I forgot to tell you they were $20. They were $20 total for the two. And for pieces that huge and that have a substantial presence in a room that has ceilings this tall, I think the ceilings in here are like 10.5 or 11 feet. So really tall ceilings. I'm 5'10", and when you see me getting up on 3-foot step stools and reaching, that tells you something. Coming up next are more changes around the farmhouse for the holidays. I have lots of new ideas for ways that I'm going to decorate. The colors are going to be slightly different this year, just slightly. So y'all come back and I'll have another video for you coming up soon. Until we meet again, friends, remember to keep home sweet, and may the good Lord bless and keep you until the next time we talk. See you later. Bye, y'all.